This time, on Highway Thru Hell,
I live for jobs like this.
a wreck on the edge
Oh, are you kidding me?
of a frozen lake
I think you're hanging up down there.
launches Team Green
Ooh, doggy!
into action.
No.
Then,
Look at that.
a reunion
Decent, Jimmy, decent.
and a recovery
This is $1 million load.
puts Colin
Watch those lines!
back in the game.
Stop it, stop it.
They just spotted the cougar there, so just be careful.
250 miles north of Hope, in a remote region of British Columbia.
Sure, it's pretty quiet up here.
Battle's on. Get ready for action.
Two acquiring heavy wreckers
What the hell are those guys doing all the way out here?
are a long way from home.
Stay away from the cove. I don't think there's too many tow trucks up there today.
Leading the expedition
Apparently they're heading to Goldbridge.
is Al Quiring.
Goldbridge is in a location where time actually stands still. Some of the best hard rock gold mining in the world comes from Goldbridge.
Apparently there was a crash.
One of our logging customers has had a little bit of a mishap on the narrow winter road.
Joining Al
I live for jobs like this.
is operator Gord Boyd.
Where we're going, if you get hurt, help is a long ways away.
To be able to get to go up to a place like this, it's an adventure.
But getting there
Any other towns ahead of you?
We'll take it how it comes.
means navigating
They say that road's real narrow.
a narrow mountain pass.
Calling that a road is being rather generous.
You could probably fall for 2 or 3 days before you hit the bottom.
Climbing 2,000 feet in elevation,
Looking across the lake there for truck in a no parking zone, but I can't see it yet.
Al searches for the crash site near Carpenter Lake
There it is.
and spots the wreck across the water.
Oh. Are you kidding me?
That's gonna be a problem.
It's steep, definitely steep.
It's not for the timid, that's for sure.
This is gonna be fun.
On the Highway Thru Hell, closure is not an option. Near Goldbridge, BC,
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Al and Gord get their first look at their next assignment.
A tough job is just ahead.
Continuing around the lake,
It's dangerous along this stretch here.
the shady route is slick.
The potential to slide off that road is very real. You're in a curling rink now.
Al and Gord arrive at the crash site
Pretty skinny here, not much room.
and get another perspective.
Definitely didn't stick the landing.
The logging truck tumbled 130 feet down the snowy bank.
Had he just landed differently, he'd have wound up in the water. In that case, hypothermia becomes a big issue. This guy got lucky. This could have been a lot worse.
Probably take a couple of us to get that cable pulled.
On scene to lend a hand is local tow operator Ken Archer.
Ken is going to help out with a little bit of swamping work. It helps keep things smooth.
To reach the wreck,
Ways to go yet.
Al's had to switch to a thinner winch line on his side puller.
It doesn't have the same load rating, but I've got a longer reach with it. There's a potential the cable could break, but hopefully we can make do with what we got.
I wonder.
Al inspects the mangled rig, while up top, curious locals gather.
There's probably something these people don't normally see there.
But Al
Oh yeah, that bunk is broken right off.
has decisions to make.
If we pulled the truck and the trailer out in one combined load, I believe the resistance and the weight would be too much.
We'll hook it right on the edge of the frame there again.
To recover the tractor, one line from Gord's truck will be rigged to the front, while the line from Al's side puller is run to the back. Then they'll flip the tractor away from the trailer and drag it up the bank.
The truck is somewhat disconnected from that trailer. Hopefully we should be able to winch it out.
Al finishes rigging,
I think we're looking good.
then hikes over 100 feet back to the controls.
Okay. Buckle up.
Acquiring wreckers,
Here we go.
start to winch.
Hopefully it'll come apart, or we could be in a pickle.
You just keep it snug.
One more pull.
Okay, we're loading now.
And the tractor
There we go, we got her.
is free from the trailers.
That's going to help ski it up the hill a little easier.
So let me catch up.
Yep.
But as the 30,000-pound unit starts to climb,
You think you're hanging up down there?
it's catching the side of the bank.
Well, in theory, we got more pull than that thing weighs.
We're working on a narrow road, on an icy surface with no room for error. If I start pulling too hard off the side, it's going to pull my truck right over the side.
That doesn't sound good.
250 miles south in Hope, a 30-ton wrecker, fresh from the factory, is headed out of town
Any chance to get the new truck out?
with Jamie Davis at the wheel.
I got a call from a really good customer. He's got trouble and he wants me to go check it out.
Jamie will use the Scout to test drive his new toy, HR 130.
It's the newest, shiniest, fanciest truck around, so of course I want that out on the highway working. It's like a little Corvette, this thing.
Last week, Jamie added the stylish Peterbilt
Wow.
to his fleet
Beautiful truck, really is.
in hopes of convincing former lead operator Colin McLean
Hello.
to return to the company.
There's a really shiny lowrider Pete sitting there waiting with your name on it, buddy.
I'm hoping that Colin will take that bait and buy into it and come back to work. I just will go have a little check on it right now.
But today, on the Coca-Cola,
So do you know where this is?
Yeah, you gotta take the Othello exit.
instead of Colin, Jamie's joined by wife and business partner Sherry Davis.
There it is. There's our truck.
Oh, wow.
So it's a big one, eh?
It's in down.
It is, yeah. that's a mess.
A car carrier has gone off the road.
This car carrier is really in there. I'm amazed it didn't flip over.
Holy man. Huh. This is gonna be difficult.
The car carrier was headed south when the driver was cut off, swerved into the ditch, launching one of its vehicles off the top deck.
It gets deeper and deeper as you go ahead, so we don't want to lift it out that way.
There's a lot of moving parts to a car carrier. A ramp could move, a car could shift. It adds another component to the whole recovery.
We'll have to pull this car carrier out back the way it came in.
This is going to be a challenge. I'm pretty confident we're going to need 3 trucks to pull this out.
Well, rally the troops and get on it.
As Jamie returns to assemble his team,
Look at that.
a familiar face is there to greet him.
Oh, Colin's here.
Nice. Look at this, the chosen one's here.
What's going on here?
In Hope, BC,
Look at that.
Jamie has a drop-in visitor,
Oh, Colin's here.
Nice.
old friend and former operator Colin McLean.
I didn't have to work today, so I figured I'd run up to Hope and give Jamie a little bit of surprise.
Come on, Colin, it's got your name on it.
It's his first look at the brand new Peterbilt
She is a nice one, eh?
Jamie bought to lure him back.
Pretty fancy truck here,
Oh, it's
James.
a nice truck.
I've definitely pictured myself burning across an interstate going down south in that truck.
This was a Colin truck. It was in my heart to get you a brand new truck.
I know.
He's doing a local job, driving a cement truck, and I'm confident he'll flip one over, get fired, and then I'll be able to rehire him again.
Today, to sweeten the pot,
He's gonna come with us to the wreck. He can be your swamper on 126.
Jamie has a proposal.
Really?
Instead of sitting around the house, let's go up and pull this thing out of the ditch.
For the first time in 7 months,
Okay, I'll grab my gear.
Colin agrees to put on the red coveralls.
You can take the boy out of towing, but you can't take towing out of the boy.
Back behind the wheel of his old wrecker,
Follow me.
Colin follows Jamie in HR 126. Alongside the operator
Miss that noise, do you?
who took over his truck, Rick Wood.
I let him drive HR 126 out to the scene. Really excited to work with Colin.
As traffic control mobilizes, 3 Jamie Davis heavies roll up to the crash site in formation.
Those are our 3 best trucks. But we're dealing with 25-ton wreckers here. These aren't 50-ton machines. So I think we're just evenly matched with the 3 trucks.
On scene,
Oh, that's not good.
Colin sizes up the car carrier.
Well, she's in there pretty good. It's gonna be pretty difficult to get this thing back up on the road.
It's a lot of money there.
It's a very expensive load. The stakes are very high with this.
Standing by
Howdy.
is the carrier's driver,
Jamie, yeah. How are you doing?
How are we doing?
Oh, not too bad.
unhurt but concerned over the condition of his freight.
Those cars are the safe, like no damages on those cars. Like,
Yeah, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, no damage.
We're looking at a bunch of cars that are very high end.
Customer wants us to do whatever we can to don't do any more damage. This is $1 million load.
But before they can tackle the carrier,
That car there, we're gonna flip it up and then leave it there for a minute.
they need to move the only flipped car.
We're going to reverse roll it and actually use a nylon strap around the tree as our anchor.
Nice to have you out in the wreck, Colin.
It's nice to be out on one.
Good to go? Okay. Just leave them there for now. The car we'll figure out later.
With the car out of the way,
Yeah, there's some damage to this.
Jamie inspects the compromised rig.
Body's been damaged here too. It's actually buckled the carrier right here.
I'm becoming worried about the structural integrity of the trailer. Is it possible to recover this without the trailer breaking in half?
Yeah, this is a very tricky job. It's gonna be a tough one.
Back north, on the shores of Carpenter Lake,
That doesn't sound good.
Al and Gord have the first piece of the logging truck on its wheels.
You think you're hanging up down there?
Yeah, just keep pulling.
Now the 15-ton tractor must be winched up a 60-degree slope.
I'm gonna let the side puller loose. I'm just letting it turn, so just pull on it.
Gordy's pulling on the front, and I'm pulling on the back, which gives the ability to control and steer that truck up and around some of the obstacles.
There we go.
To reach the wreck 130 feet below,
Just easy on there.
Al is using a thinner cable on his side puller.
You gotta pay attention. I don't want to break my long winch line and then not be able to recover the rest of the load.
Slow and steady, the tractor makes it to the top.
I'll snuggle up and we'll get her right up till we're kissing paint here.
And all lines are holding.
Feel your truck.
Now, cresting the bank, there's no turning back.
Once we get it up to the roadbed, we're committed. We've got to keep going.
Lean on her some more. Pull on it. Okay, that's it. No more, no more.
Yeah.
No more.
To make room for the wreck,
How about if I pull ahead, you bring the back end up a little bit?
Yeah.
Gord needs to reposition,
You got it?
I think so.
and Al's truck must take the full weight of the tractor.
There's a potential the cable could break. Snap, bang. It'd be a bad scenario.
We're good. With Gord's wrecker out of the way,
We'll go with the low line and then the tickler.
Yep.
Al and Gord work fast
We're on.
to reset the rigging.
Take a good bite.
Yeah.
And add a high line to force the cab the final steps onto the road.
If we're pulling off the top of the boom, it's going to give us a lifting advantage.
Let's go.
Al and Gord start to pull. But as the tractor carves through the snow, winch lines begin to slice through the icy bank.
Anything chafing the steel wire rope, there's a potential for cutting strands, so you don't want to take a razor blade to a violin string.
Hold it good.
In a remote corner of British Columbia,
Woo, doggy.
Al and Gord are cutting it close to rescue a logging truck.
There's a lot of friction. We don't want to have a break-free moment and that thing tumbles down the hill.
Okay, cable's getting real tight.
This is the hardest part of the pull right here at the top. It's pretty dicey.
Okay, easy, easy. Okay, hold it.
Finally,
That should do it.
the tractor is back on high ground.
We're on the road, but we're a little ways from the finish line yet.
I'll be right back.
Gord tows the battered unit up the road. While beside the waters below, Al weighs their next challenge, the trailer.
That trailer, when it's in transport mode down the road, it's only just sitting on the back of that truck in the log bunks.
The log trailer is a two-part problem. When empty, the two pieces of the trailer are stacked for transport, then pulled apart for a load of logs.
These two pieces are not joined together anymore.
Pulling chicken wings now.
So we'll just recover it piece by piece.
Right around here?
Right around the extension there, yeah.
Local operator Ken Archer rigs to the front end of the trailer.
You gonna try it on your own now?
All right, fellas.
Now, using his own wrecker,
Okay, here we go.
Al will try to fish the first piece out of the lake and up the slope. The front unit is wrestled over onto its wheels.
Come on, baby.
But the back end refuses to let go.
It's not breaking loose.
Are you kidding me? We didn't plan on it coming up in one piece.
Oh, we're not done yet. Not even close.
Southbound traffic just after Othello. You have that accident being cleared up.
East of Hope on the Coke.
It is a very tricky job. It's actually buckled the carrier right here.
Jamie and Colin have reunited to rescue a car carrier.
I'm worried about the structural integrity of the trailer. It's very real that it can bend in half or tear apart.
Holy man.
Earlier today, the loaded car carrier lost the road and slammed into the ditch, buckling its frame. Keeping a lane open,
Stay tight, because we're going to put both trucks together. Yeah, okay.
Colin lines up the wreckers for the first stage of the recovery.
Yeah,
And Jamie
So we're going to try to do this.
walks the driver through the plan.
We'll put two on the back end and we'll pull it up best we can.
Because it's gone off on a long run, we've got to bring it back out on a long run.
Okay, let's pull some cable out.
Months since his last recovery,
You know, you got to keep the skills sharp, right? You gotta...
Colin leads the charge.
So we'll snatch this one.
Following his instructions
I love this job.
is new hire, French-Canadian Steve Iverchuk.
What about that step post right in there? Yeah.
Every recovery is totally different here in BC than Quebec. Totally, man.
Hooking up to the trailer, the team runs two lines on one side
Yeah, there's that.
and a single on the other.
Now tighten it up.
Then
And you want to direct them guys pulling?
Jamie puts Colin in charge.
I have less experienced guys, so it's just going to make this go so much better with Colin there.
I don't even work for him anymore, right? I'm there on my day off, so...
With Steve operating the Mac and Rick on HR 126.
You ready?
Yep.
Let's get pulling.
Winches roll, and the carrier starts to move.
It is a very delicate dance for all these guys to work together.
Keep going, doing what you're doing.
And you have to be careful of what forces you're applying to the trailer.
Okay, whoa.
You've got big power at your fingertips. Just a little bit of pressure and you can bend a trailer in half.
The loaded carrier
There you go, 2 hands.
slowly creeps out of the ditch.
Use your blue line more.
But moments later,
Rick, we're fighting this edge here right now.
the wreck begins to bog down.
It's low to the ground. And this ditch does have a pretty good angle to it. So it's digging into the mud.
And with every inch towards the road,
Okay, whoa, whoa, watch your truck.
tension builds. Now the tilting load.
I'm pulling the truck sideways. We gotta try and get that corner up.
Threatens to topple.
Up, 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 up.
Stop, stop.
Jamie pauses to reassess.
This thing's a high-end load of expensive cars, and I've got to do my best to look after them.
Now I can do a high line maybe, eh?
And comes up with a new plan. Adding a third truck to the recovery, Jamie will run a safety line from his newest wrecker to the top deck, plus a low line to the carrier's front end to carefully guide it onto the road. The extra rigging is hooked up.
And then just put that in that loop, you know?
But Jamie
The main frame is buckled. Right in here.
is still concerned.
I'm using that line to pull with somewhat,
I'm scared. This thing's so bent.
but I don't want to really yank on this that high up. There's a lot of leverage right there.
Gotta be very careful.
Now, with 3 wreckers in play,
Okay, you good to go?
the trio of heavies starts to pull.
This is lifting it.
Okay.
So you lift, you pull.
Okay.
You lift, you pull.
All right, thanks.
Colin's a great asset. He instinctively knows where to pull and when.
But soon,
Can I play for just a bit?
Yeah.
Coach Colin is back in the game.
That's it, Rick.
It's really nice to be back on the controls, but if something messes up, I'm the one that's gonna feel that.
Rising up to the road,
This is the toughest part of the pull, right when you get it over the bank.
the carrier's top-heavy frame starts to twist.
We have a very lightweight skeleton trailer here, and there's quite an angle that it's coming out of the ditch on. If anything can go wrong, it's going to happen right now.
Wait a minute.
Go, go, go. Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it. Up, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Wow, that's quite the recovery going on there.
Near hope,
Keep coming.
Colin's back on the controls
Watch those lines.
as a loaded car carrier
That's heavy pulling.
tilts towards trouble.
Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it.
Jamie's crew
Up, hold it,
discovers a weak spot
hold it.
on the carrier's metal frame.
Is it buckling?
Colin and Rick investigate.
Yeah, we're pulling that brace out of the trailer. We can't pull too hard on that, eh?
If we pull the carrier too hard, we could tear the trailer apart.
Try and get it out a bit more. Let's start to change this angle.
Jamie's wreckers pull forward
This thing has to go out in a nice long angle, not this way.
to try and ease the fragile trailer back onto the road.
It's the hardest part of the pull, just as you get it up over the edge. So we have to be mindful of that.
You good to go?
To your trucks, boys. Okay, you ready?
With Steve and Rick back on the controls
Keep this one tight.
and Colin leading the crew,
More. This is a moment where it's make or break.
Straight back. Keep going.
Jamie's team
Bring your boom down a bit.
carefully maneuvers the back end of the trailer
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
up onto the road.
Winches down, down.
Definitely a decent Jimmy moment for sure.
But the job's not over.
Larry.
The front end of the wreck is still deep in the ditch.
Sucker up.
Okay.
Crank on it, buddy. A little more.
Finally, the $1 million load
Stop.
is on safe ground.
Decent, Jimmy, decent.
These high-end cars didn't receive any more damage.
We'll take this one right to the yard and when you come and get it.
Amazing job, guys. Perfect.
Thanks for your help, Colin. I really appreciate it.
The crew had a good day working, and this was a good job.
Thanks.
But for Jamie,
These are your shovels, eh?
the win is bittersweet.
What are you doing?
What, 4 o'clock? Man, I got
Well, you union?
Being here with these guys today was a lot of fun.
Ever since you left, I've been losing weight.
Maybe because you get probably gotta work.
The other takes it off. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Colin.
It's good to know that I still have it. It's part of me for sure. Jamie would obviously love to have me back, but I'm not really too sure yet. Anything's possible.
250 miles north at the Lakeside Recovery. The last pieces of the logging wreck refuse to pull apart.
Here, I thought we were pulling on chicken wings, and it turns out we got chicken dinner.
Al and local operator Ken Archer
What's stringing us up here into this trailer?
look for clues
This cable
to unlock the two-piece trailer.
seems to go right to...
Right to the reach. So that's why we're hung together. Okay, I understand now.
The array of broken hoses, there's a cable there that I didn't happen to spot at the start of the recovery.
Gonna cut the cable?
Yep.
Still up top,
Sledgehammer!
Gord retrieves the right tool for the job.
Hammers can solve all kinds of problems.
Watch your head. I'll go crank on that bad boy.
But with every blow,
Watch out, things are gonna fly here maybe.
thousands of pounds of torque and pressure
Everybody got an escape route?
could break free at any moment.
You gotta be a little bit like a cat, be ready to jump.
Solve the problem.
The two sections are safely detached.
Things are looking up.
Just to give us a little extra muscle.
But as Al starts to rig onto the twisted trailer,
No.
near Goldbridge, BC,
Just to give us a little extra muscle.
Oh, look out!
No.
Al escapes the last troublesome piece
Biter.
of the logging truck wreck.
That's recovery. Keep your eyes on the fries.
Come right through the hole here, Ken.
To separate the two sections of the trailer, Al and local operator Ken
I'm pretty sure we'll bust out of there now.
add a second line.
Hopefully everything's gonna go as planned.
Back at the top,
I'll tighten up.
Al and Gord start the pull.
Put her in high gear.
This time, the front of the trailer is free to move. A light passenger for the 50-ton wreckers.
It's like using a big gun to shoot a mouse.
Cresting the bank,
Drag her right out of there.
Gord
This ain't going to be pretty, but it'll work.
tows the unit up the road.
Bang, bang, tumble, tumble.
5 hours into the recovery,
Okay, here we go one more time.
Al and Ken run a snatch block
Just hook it right on the top of that flange there.
Yep, got it.
to haul up the final piece of the trailer.
Okay, I'm satisfied. Let's proceed.
I want to get this job done.
Come on, baby.
But as Al starts to whinge,
Come on.
the logging truck wreck saves its toughest battle for last.
It's not really a heavy object, but it's got a lot of spots where that square edge can get behind something. And then all of a sudden it gets real heavy.
The trailer
I hung her up down there.
has hit a snag.
Very high risk here.
Yeah, don't stand too close to that line.
Okay, I gotta back off.
Now the wreck won't budge.
Just come in real tight, Gord. We'll run a line down.
Yep.
Needing more muscle, Al reaches for another line.
We're just gonna add some more pull to it and get it out of there. We're getting tired of this.
Oh, that's what we're hanging up on.
Al discovers the culprit.
Oh.
Turns out there's a big old-fashioned rock sticking out of the bank there.
And requests a primitive tool
Throw me down an oak timber.
to solve the problem.
We're gonna use a little skullduggery and get ourselves over it.
Pole vault.
This is the action. Right here.
If I put a timber in there and use it as a lever, it'll pole vault that right up over the obstacle.
Sometimes you have to get creative.
There might be some rocks flying, so just watch your eyes. Have your escape route.
Pole vault in place.
This is where things get a little hairy.
Al and Gord pull the trigger.
Holy crap.
Near the Chilcotin Mountains of British Columbia,
Pole vault.
Al and Gord have a rugged solution
Okay, here we go.
to free the last piece of the logging truck.
Holy crap.
Whoa. I guess that's where it's gonna go. So just clear away.
The pole vault maneuver.
We got it.
Has the trailer moving again.
You cannot argue with physics.
But near the top, the 40-foot-long unit
Heave-ho.
must now squeeze between the two wreckers.
Keep leading.
You are working in a tight spot, so the trailer might give us some problems, but hopefully not today.
Keep pulling. Don't stop. Just watch your toes.
Get it up to the point where I can't pull it any farther.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull ahead.
And Al's gonna hang on to it.
With the last reposition and one more pull. The lakeside recovery
I think we got this licked.
is over.
It's like chicken bones.
It'll get us the kilometer up the road that we need to get.
Team Green rolls to a pullout
I'm glad we're out of there now.
to secure the load for transport.
Yeah, that'll work.
And put the trailer
Perfect.
back together again.
Oh, I'm exceptionally pleased with this.
Thanks for your help. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out.
Let's roll.
This went perfectly.
We didn't bust anything. We didn't have any wreckers over the bank, so guess we'll call that a win.
It was a cool job. It was a good day fishing at the lake, definitely.
As the acquiring wreckers wind their way home, thoughts turn to warmer weather and the end of another hard-fought season.
We're winding down from the winter chaos. We're headed for sunshine and maybe some Mai Tais. The next wreck is just around the bend.
Near Hope,
Coke's open now. Good job there, guys.
Jamie heads home in his new ride after a successful day full of surprises.
It's interesting to see Colin today. He's got towing in his blood.
This is lifting it.
Finishing off the year with Colin was kind of a special ending for me.
Watch those lines.
I think he had to be one of the best guys that ever worked for us.
If he wanted to work here, he could just pick up the phone and he'd be here tomorrow. So I wonder when he's going to make that call.
Today's recovery with Colin marks the end of an exceptional year for Jamie Davis Towing. It began with an expansion into new territory.
Golden really has been a great learning opportunity.
Hey! It's a freaking heavy one.
Holy.
It's getting pretty plugged up here.
We need to get this thing open, man.
It's a bit of a marathon.
Come on, baby.
But I wanted to do something different.
Thank you very much. That was a fantastic job.
Oh, perfect. That's what we want to hear.
While back in Hope,
Good Lord.
the battle with Mother Nature
It just completely washed away the road.
raged on.
Holy man.
This winter was one of the most brutal winters ever.
Man, this wind is something else.
Lots of suffering out in the cold weather.
These are the nights that make me want to stop being in the record business.
But with the help of a solid team,
Let it down.
We've got new guys.
Just working out easy.
They're all good guys.
Yeah.
They know how to get the job done.
Jamie's pushed through the tough times. And with some new iron, breathed new life into his fleet.
I've done my fair share of driving old trucks. Maybe I deserve a good one once in a while.
Forging on, Jamie remains focused.
Yeehaw.
On the road ahead.
You know, we're headed in a good direction. I got a few more winters left in me yet.